Hi, my name is Tomasz and you're watching Casual DIY channel. In today's video I will be making a clamp rack that will utilize some dead space that I've got in my workshop. Check out the video. Right, and so that's my garage doors just here, and that's the piece of wall I'm talking about. It's 49 centimeters wide, and probably I've got a good 2.5 meters to play around with where it comes to the height. I've got a switch for the lights over here, and just above that, that's the whole mechanism that allows the doors to be opened. So I'm going to work around all of this to make sure I can squeeze as many clamps as I can. On top of it, I need to think about eventually when I put the doors in, the rack and the clamps are actually not in the way. The design of the rack will allow you to put it anywhere you want, hence it's perfect for the space I've got. Plus also it will allow for storing different types of clamps. As we all know, they may vary in size, so this will be a very flexible approach to clamp storage. Now, I'm not inventing the wheel over here. The clamp rack will be based on French Cleats, which in this case fits absolutely perfectly with my needs and the flexibility I need with my storage. For the project, I'm going to be using some reclaimed materials. For example, this board is 18mm chipboard laminated. That used to be my bed when I was 5, and now I'm going to bring it to life in my workshop as clamp storage. The first thing I'm going to do is just to give the whole panel a good sand. I'm using grit 80 in this case. That will ensure the panel will be ready for glue up and free of any debris. Now I'm setting my blade to 45 degree on my table saw. Thanks to that, we'll be able to cut two strips of the cleats that later on we'll be installing on the walls and on the racks themselves. So as you can see, I'm just making the cut with my table saw. As I already got a 45 degree angle on the side of this panel, I have set up my blade to 90 degrees to the table, and now I'm just cutting a strip for it. So that's the second strip I'm going to use for the French Cleat system. And the rest of the panel I'm cutting in half, and it actually came out very nicely as both of them end up at about 20 centimeters in width. And with the sled, I'm just cutting out some squares, 20 by 20 centimeters. Having a stop block on the sled really speeds up the process. To cut out the triangles from the squares, I'm just going to make a really quick and simple jig for my table saw sled. It will be two pieces of wood with a hole in them, and I'm going to use a T-track bolt with a star knob on it, and thanks to that, on my T-track that's located on the table sled, I will be able to, well, set up the squares in a repetitive way, in an accurate way, so I can make the cut in the middle, in the exact middle of the squares, giving me two identical triangles. I also wanted to cut off the pointy corners of the triangles, so again using my table sled with a stop block, making this job really quick. From the remains of the panel itself, I'm cutting out strips that are 3 centimeters in width. Basically that they will go between the triangles we already did, and 3 centimeters is more or less a sweet spot for me that will accommodate all the clamps I've got. Now it's time to cut the cleats to the right sizes. First of all, I'm going to sort out the boards that will go on the wall, and after that I will be using my miter saw to cut out the pieces that will go on the racks themselves. It's time to put everything together. I'm using glue, some brad nails just to hold it in place. It's not a necessity, it's just ease of use for me. It just basically makes the process a little bit easier and quicker. And after that it's reinforced with some screws. So it's a nice and fairly easy, simple process. And on the back we're installing the cleat as well in exactly the same fashion: glue, brad nails and screws. Now the cleats, as you have noticed, they are very wide. They're about 7 centimeters. Thanks to that, I won't have to do any additional support for the cleats when they're on the wall. And that's our rack sorted. It's time to install the cleats on the wall itself. In my case, it's a brick wall, so there's not much hassle with that. I just need a masonry bit to drill holes in the wall. However, if you've got a plasterboard wall or anything like that, you need to use the correct fixings to make sure it will take the weight. And now the first cleat lands on the wall in nice and stable position. It's a really nice and flexible system with these French cleats. And with the racks, as I can just walk around the clamps and the obstacles I've got on the wall to get the most out of it and utilize the whole available space. I just repeat the process and install more cleats. Check this out, guys. The rack is fully loaded. A dead space before that now is actually a house to more or less all my clamps. Before I started this project, I thought to myself, well, if half of my clamps will find its place on here, I will be happy with it. But I can't believe that more or less all my clamps are here and there is still some space on this rack. The only clamps I've got left is a set of C clamps. That's all. So I can't believe all of this managed to get here. Now, as you can see, it's a super versatile setup. You can move these wherever you want. You know, they're not attached permanently, so you can adjust it to whatever needs you want. And to be fair, if I spend a bit more time with it, I probably could come up with a better layout that I could squeeze even more clamps on here and even more levels as well. And this is absolutely super perfect for small workshops. Remember, a piece of dead wall that I couldn't do anything with it, as the switch light is in there, but now I've got all my clamps in here and they're not taking space anywhere else in my workshop. So I fully recommend this solution. Now, even if you're going to be able just to do and squeeze in just one of these, that's 6 quick release clamps already hanging somewhere out of the way. Similar for my Bessie parallel clamps. I can squeeze 6 of those on just one of these. So I hope this little project is inspiring to you, and now you can think about how you can utilize this in your workshop, as is definitely worth making. And to be fair, I am surprised how efficient this solution really is. Now, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, drop me that like button down below and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so yet, and press that bell notification icon and change it to all so you won't miss any of my future videos. But for now, guys, that's all from me. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching. Take care.